What's going on, Gifted Hands family? It is Elijah here, bringing you another lesson, and today we're going to be talking about 3 beginner approaches to training your ear. So 3 ways to improve your ear. And the great thing is that this is going to apply, we're talking about it specifically related to beginners, but it doesn't matter really if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced player. We can all use these same concepts and same techniques. I'm just going to be using some beginner examples and gear this at our beginners, okay? For the beginners out there. So let's just say, you want to get to a point where you're able to hear things in songs, chord progressions, movements, voicings, passing chords, whatever it is that you hear in a song, solos even. You want to transcribe this stuff eventually, and you can't find sheet music. Sometimes you just have to learn things by ear, right? So let's say maybe you hear something like this. Maybe, I don't know, something like that, right? Maybe we hear something like that in a song. Really random. But maybe we heard somebody play something like that and there's no sheet music for it. In order to play that, we're going to have to transcribe it, which means listening to it, analyzing it, and figuring it out using our ears, okay? So, like I said, we're gonna get into 3 simple techniques that you can use, that you can practice really daily. You can implement this into your practice routine to improve your ear immediately, okay? So let's dive into it. So the first way that you can improve your ear is going to be by practicing single note recognition, right? And so single note recognition just says, if I hear an individual note on the piano, let's say we heard that note. Single note recognition just says, all right, I hear that note and it's G, sounds like a G, right? So that's a G. And you don't have to be able to just hear the note being played and then automatically guess. You can practice it by having someone play a note. It could be a friend, I don't know, family member, whoever's around, or even like we have resources that will give you exercises like this, but you gotta have somebody play a note. You hear the note and you go to your piano and you sit there and try to guess the note. So maybe we think it's an E. Nope, so it's not an E. But I heard the note and it was, so the note I'm trying to find is a little bit higher than the E I played, so I gotta go up. So is it F? No, it's not F. Nope. Okay, so we find G, right? So in single note recognition is simply finding notes and being able to pick out notes that we hear on the piano. So why do you need to build this skill? This skill is important because when it comes to finding chords, right? If you want to be able to hear what a chord is by ear, you have to recognize, you have to be able to tell what notes of the chord are being played or what notes make up the chord, right? So if I hear an F major chord, if I hear this chord, in order to figure out the chord, I need to be able to hear the bass note, meaning this note down here, right? I need to be able to hear the notes of the right hand, the notes that my right hand are playing. And the only way to do that is single note recognition, note by note by note. So if I'm trying to pick out this chord, I'm gonna be like, all right, what's the bass note? Bass note is the lowest note, so I hear dum da 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 da, and we're gonna try to find that note. So what is that? D, no, it's not C. It's lower, 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 lower. No, it's still lower. No, it's still lower. Yeah, that's the note. Right? And then note by note by note, we can figure out what a chord is. Or even if, say, you want to start soloing one day, right? And you hear some solos that you like. Maybe you're listening to some Corey Henry, or you're listening to some Bill Evans, or some Oscar Peterson, whoever it is, right? That you enjoy listening to and you want to kind of emulate their sound or their playing style. You might want to listen to some of their solos in the way that they approach music. And maybe you hear somebody play a line. I don't know, maybe you hear something like that, right? So if you wanted to figure that out, one more time. I mean, that's a little extra, but let's say we wanted to hear something like that, or even something simpler. We heard something like that and we want to figure out what it is that somebody played. We have to be able to recognize each individual note in that lick or in that run that was played. And that is taken from the skill of single note recognition. Cool. So that is way number 1, single note recognition. So way number 2 that we can improve our ear is going to be through chord quality recognition. So chord quality recognition just says that if we hear a chord played on the piano, maybe it's this chord right here, right? If we hear this chord played on the piano, we should be able to tell without looking, of course we have the chord readout here, but if we were just listening solely, is that a major chord? Is that a minor chord? Is that a dominant chord? Is that a diminished chord? Is it a half diminished chord? Is it a fully diminished? Like what kind of chord is that? Is it an altered chord? There's so many different options, right? So what kind of chord is that? Chord quality recognition, the skill of being able to recognize the chord quality just tells us that we can hear that, oh, this is a major chord. Not only is it major, it's major seventh, right? Or maybe we hear, we hear that chord, that's funky. So we hear that chord and we're like, okay, what kind of chord is that? Is it major, minor, diminished, half diminished, dominant? Well, it sounds like a diminished chord. Or we hear something really out there like this, right? Or something really disgusting. We hear this and we're like, okay, this is really strange, but it sounds, at its root, it sounds like a dominant chord, right? I hear the third and the seventh, and then I hear some other really weird chord tones, which might be alterations. So it sounds like it's some type of dominant chord. So this skill set of chord quality recognition comes in handy when we're trying to hear chords and chord progressions in songs, right? So if we're trying to play a song by ear, let's say even God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's able, right? Popular gospel song by Dietrich Haddon. If we were trying to play that song and we were listening to the record, God is able to do just what he said he would do. All right, let's say maybe we hear that, right? And we're trying to figure out what are the chords being played in this song. If we're able to tell, okay, the first chord sounds major, sounds happy, sounds positive, sounds like a major chord. God is able to do. The second chord sounds major too. Just what he said. Third chord sounds a little bit darker, so maybe that's minor. And then we got the fourth chord. That's definitely major. So if we can hear those chords, right? Hear the chord quality. We can hear the chord quality and then we partner that with our single note recognition, meaning we can hear the bass note that's being played. We can hear the individual notes that's being played. It all works together to help us to transcribe, to learn songs by ear, and things of that nature, right? So chord quality recognition is way number 2 that we can improve our ear. And all you have to do is, similar to the first exercise, get someone to play a chord or find exercises like we have in our Gifted Hands Academy, in our Piano from Scratch Masterclass. Find resources like that that have these types of exercises in it. And like I said, have somebody play a specific type of chord, and all you gotta do is guess and start to guess, is it major, is it minor? Is it diminished? What is the chord quality? That's how you build up your ear and you train yourself in being able to recognize chord qualities. Cool? So that's way number 2. All right, so way number 3 that we can improve our ear is going to be by chord progression recognition. We have to build our skills of being able to recognize chord progressions. So what is it? How do we do it? So chord progression is real simple, right? It's just or whatever it is. Chord progressions are just a group of chords played in order, right? So how do we practice this? The way we practice chord progression recognition is going to be, once again, through exercises, and we'll have somebody play a chord progression, right? Have somebody play a chord progression. Let's say it's, what is that? So that sounded like it was, maybe I'll give you the key, like that was a chord progression in A flat major, right? So what was that chord progression in A flat major? Okay, the first thing we would try to pick up is the bass note. So it sounded like, so that sounded like 6, 7, 1 in A flat major. After we got the bass note, then we say, okay, well, what chords go along with that bass line? So the 6 is normally minor. Let's try that. No, it sounded a little different. It sounded like they were doing a slash chord maybe in there. 4 over 6. And then 7 is supposed to be diminished. So were they playing that? No, they weren't playing that. They were doing something else. Maybe it was E flat over G. Maybe they were doing something like that. To the 1. So 4 over 6. 5 over 7 to the 1. Right, that's what we just played. Or that's what we heard. So that's how you're gonna practice chord progression recognition. You find an exercise or you find a resource or find someone who can play a chord progression for you, and you try to figure out what the progression is. This is gonna help improve your ear because, hey, when you're learning songs by ear, you gotta hear how chords work together. It's not just about hearing one individual chord by itself. It's both. You got to learn individual chords or be able to hear individual chords, and then you also got to be able to hear patterns. When you can start recognizing patterns like 2-5-1s, 7-3-6s, walk-ups of major and minor scales, so like 6-7-1 or 3-4-5 or 1-2 chromatic to the 3. Maybe, I don't know, something like that, right? When we hear and start getting familiar with progressions in music, common progressions in music, then it'll be easier to play and learn songs by ear, all right? So those are the 3 ways that you can start today improving your ear. Way number 1 is going to be single note recognition. Having somebody play a single note on the piano and you trying to pick out, is it, no, it's not there. Nope, it's not there. No, not there. Nope, nope. Oh, there it is, okay. Hearing an individual note and trying to figure out what note that is. That's single note recognition. Way number 2 is chord quality recognition. That's just hearing a chord on the piano and being able to tell, is that major? Is it minor? Is it altered? Is it diminished? What type of chord is it? So this one, we close our eyes, we listen. Da, da, da. I'm listening to the root, to the 3rd, and to the 5th. All of those things tell me what type of chord it is. Da, da, da. So this sounds like a minor because we got the root here. Sounds like a minor 3rd and a regular 5th. We gotta listen and be able to tell the chord quality of a chord, okay? Way number 2. Way number 3 is going to be chord progression recognition. So that's building on top of chord quality recognition and being able to tell, all right, we have multiple chords in a series. What's going on with these chords? How are they related? Or how are they related to a major key or a minor key, right? So maybe we hear 2, 3, 4 flat, 5 and 1/5, whatever the chord progression is, right? Being able to hear the chords. I don't know, but just being able to hear whatever chord progression is being played, right? And being able to tell, okay, we're in this specific key, and in this key they're playing the 2 to the 3 to the 4 to the flat 5 to the 5, whatever it may be, right? Or maybe it's something simple like maybe they're playing 5 to the 6 to the 7 to the 1, or maybe we hear they're going 4 to the 1, right? Whatever it is, we need to be able to hear chord progressions and hear patterns in our music and being able to pick out those patterns, all right? All of these 3 things are gonna make it easier to learn piano by ear, cool? So you may be wondering, all right, well, I understand like everything, it all makes sense, but I can't practice this by myself. True, probably not. So that's why we've created resources here at Gifted Hands to help you improve your ear. So let me tell you about a couple things we got going on real quick. So we just launched a brand new Piano from Scratch Masterclass. This is for beginner piano players who maybe have just started their piano journey, or even if you've been playing for years and years, a couple years, but you feel like you haven't seen the progression that you want. You haven't reached the goals that you want in your playing, right? So the Piano from Scratch Masterclass is going to teach you all the fundamentals to playing piano and getting to an intermediate level. We're gonna take you from beginner to intermediate, all right? We're gonna teach you how to play songs. We're gonna teach you theory. We're gonna teach you technique, and we're gonna teach you exercises like this. So if you want to improve your ear, you have to check out Piano from Scratch Masterclass. We have these exercises, these ear training exercises, and a couple more as well. So these aren't the only 3. I just told you about 3 today. I don't want to overwhelm you. But in our Piano from Scratch Masterclass, we have way more than 3. There's more other exercises that you can use to improve your ear as well. And then also check out the Gifted Hands Academy. So the Gifted Hands Academy is more so for intermediate and advanced players. So people who are a little bit more experienced and are trying to more so get to an advanced level, professional level, right? The Gifted Hands Academy is for you. And so in the Academy, we also have these types of ear training exercises, but they're just geared at intermediate to advanced players. Piano from Scratch Masterclass, on the other hand, is geared at beginners, all right? So we go over everything. Like maybe you heard me talk about some of these chord progressions. Maybe I said slash chords, right? Or I was talking about diminished chords and altered chords, right? If you don't know what all that stuff is and you need an introduction to those concepts, then definitely check out Piano from Scratch Masterclass, because I start literally from scratch, from the beginning, and walk you through everything that you need to know to have a solid foundation in music, and then to get you to an intermediate level. And really, we're just building a foundation to hopefully eventually make you an amazing musician. If you want to pursue a career in music, you can do that. But we're just laying the groundwork in that masterclass. So check both of those resources out. They're really helpful. We have a bunch of people all over the world, a bunch of students from all over the world taking them and improving their playing. So I want y'all, each and every one of you watching this, to participate and improve your playing as well. All right, but that's all I got for you today. If you got any questions, drop them in the comment section below. We're always checking the comments, trying to respond ASAP. And then, yeah, if you got any suggestions, anything that you want to see, we're gonna be gearing up and doing a lot of beginner tutorials for the next few months. We're gonna be creating some content specifically for the beginners out there. We want to help everybody. It doesn't matter what step in your journey you're at, okay? So if you got any suggestions or something specific that you want to see in the video, drop it in the comment section below. Till then, though, until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Stay practicing, stay growing, keep getting better at your craft, and I will see you all very, very soon.